Whatever is going on in the mind of this mother, please keep her under prayer. Do not judge until you find out what exactly happened, why it happened, and what may happen after that. Let's watch this video of April, the mother of the 12-year-old girl, the mother of a 12-year-old daughter that killed her very own 9-year-old brother. Let's watch this video and dig deep into it. Then we get something to learn out of it.
This April, I'm so sorry for what's happened to your family. And I appreciate you trying to help us all figure it out. How are you doing?
I'm okay. I'm just hanging in there. One day at a time.
I know you got a little one at home and you're trying to figure out how to help your 12-year-old. What have you been able to make sense of in terms of how this happened?
From what we found, it looks like it was a medication issue, not anything else. It's just like a manic episode of some kind. From a
help me understand.
ADHD medicine.
Help me understand. So she was on an ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, very common for parents out there. They'll hear about it. They come with indications, but there's usually guidance about, well, you may start seeing things. Was this part of a downturn or a spiral? Was there any other behavior that gave you any indication that the kid was unstable?
No. She was fine. She wasn't unstable until she was put back on the medication.
So she was on the medication.
She hurt herself.
What happened to take her off it?
She cut her arms within a month of being back on it. So I immediately took her off after speaking to the school and her doctor and herself. We had a long conversation. She said that she felt like she was really irritated, irritable, angry for no reason on the medication. So, of course, I took her off of it. Unfortunately, it was too late. The damage was done. Stuff like this can happen months or even years after being off of a medication like this.
So she was on the medication. You took her off. She went back on. She started to self-harm. You took her off again. What did the doctors tell you about why going on or off was the right thing? Were they in favor of taking her off both times?
Well, the first time I took her off, it was my decision and Jalen's decision because she was being homeschooled at the time and she wanted to see if she could do it without her medication, because the only reason why she was on that medication was because she was having a hard time concentrating with 25 other kids. We were homeschooling that year, and I told her that was fine. We can try it out and see if she does well on it. And if she does, she'll continue to not have to take it. But like I said, a year and a half later, she went back to public school, and the doctor recommended putting her back on it because her grades were slipping. And so I did. I put her back on it. And then a few weeks later, a month later, she cut her arms. So that's when I was told to take her back off of it, which I did immediately. So she was on it for 5 years straight. And we only took her off of it because she wanted to see if she could go without it and do her schoolwork without it.
Did she stop cutting herself when you took her off?
Yeah, she only cut herself that one time. And then the night right before she attacked my son, she cut her arm again. But she had not self-harmed before or after that.
And then, and I'm sorry, but I mean, I know you're trying to figure this out, and it's all just about trying to understand how so that you can get her the help that she needs. With her brother, what was the relationship like before this happened in January?
They were close. They've always been close. It's always been just us three until 3 years ago. They did yoga together almost every night. They went on vacations together and trips together. They always sat next to each other. They were very close. She loved him and he loved her.
Was she able to tell you what led to her stabbing him?
She has no idea why she did it. She's heartbroken and feels very guilty, but she still doesn't understand why she did it. She said it was like it wasn't her. And the team of specialists working with her, they believe her after working with her for the last 6 months every day. And I believe her too, because I know my child and I know that wasn't her.
It'd be impossible to think otherwise, that your kid would be capable of something that because she wanted to do it. I get it. I get where your head and your heart are on this. She's been in a facility getting some help since this happened. And
no,
what
she's going to
where has she been? Where has she been?
Well, I don't know if I really want to say that. I don't want to put her at risk or anything like that, but she's in custody right now. Putting a call.
So
she's in custody right now, and she will be heard in a few days.
So since January, she's just been held? She hasn't been seeing therapists and getting help and stuff like that?
Where she's at, she does have a team of specialists that have been working with her, yes.
And what have they told you? Is there any diagnosis?
I have not gotten a diagnosis from her specialist at all. She has not been on any medications except for allergy meds. And she's been doing fine.
And what does she say to you about what happened? How is she dealing with it?
She went through a stage of disassociation for months, where she just didn't associate herself with Zander. I was told it was normal for a child that has gone through something horrific like this for them to disassociate themselves from that person. Recently, the last few months, she has begun to talk about him more and more. She just expresses that she misses him and that she's really sorry over and over again.
But no more window into what the cycle of events were that led to the violence.
I'm sorry, what was that?
No, she doesn't have more to say in terms of explaining how it got to that place.
No, all I know is she was having thoughts of stabbing him about 2 weeks prior. She reached out to a few of her friends and told them. And unfortunately, they were maybe afraid to tell the parents or me, but they did not. So I had no idea that she was having those thoughts, because she had begun to go to her room for hours. That wasn't normal for her. She would just want her own space. The last few weeks, so something was going on with her, but I just took it like it's normal teenage behavior. You know, she's 12, her menstrual cycle and everything. It's just it was normal for me, because I went through that, where I didn't want to be bothered by people when I would spend hours in my room. But I had no idea about the thoughts. Her friends, I guess she did tell 2 of her friends, and they did tell us afterwards. But that's the only warning we pretty much had was from her friends, and unfortunately they didn't say anything.
I have seen reports, but I want to hear it from you. Do you think that she may have been exposed to any behavior from anybody else who joined the family group, or what she saw or observed that may have influenced her behavior at all?
I'm really not sure. I don't think anybody that she would be hanging out with. I know everybody she's been hanging out with. The only people I would think that she would have done something, like watched something scary or something, would be with her friends. She was starting to stay the night at her friends' houses more often. They used to just have their friends stay here, and at my house we always had the kids over here. But she started to hang out with
any adults friends. Any adults that you've had around that may have influenced her?
Absolutely not.
What do the authorities say about what the options are going forward? I mean, she's so young. Are they considering charges? Or are they mandating that she stay in the facility for a certain amount of time? What are they telling you?
Right now, I don't have any answers for that. As far as I know, she is not getting charged right now. She's being transferred for treatment. Later on down the road, there might be charges that are brought up, but right now there's not.
What have you told the authorities that matters to you? Obviously, I mean, you're the mother of the victim and the mother of the person responsible. What have you said to them?
To my family?
No, to the authorities.
Half your voice cuts out in the beginning, so I'm not hearing your beginning.
I'm sorry, April. It's a tough spot for you, but when you talk to authorities, what have you asked on your daughter's behalf? Have you, you know what I mean? Like, what have you explained to them about what you want for her?
Basically that I want her to get whatever help she needs. She's going to have a lot of hard time grieving and feeling guilty. So she's going to need a lot of help in that aspect too. And if this medication has done permanent damage to her brain, we don't know. That's something that we can find out when she goes to treatment. But I eventually want her to come home when she after her treatment. Yeah, absolutely. I do.
Well, April, it's an impossible spot that you're in, and I know you got another little one at home, and you're grieving the loss of your son, and you're grieving your daughter not being with you. Please let us know if there's anything we can do to help. I know there's a GoFundMe page because this is expensive, trying to figure out how to get the help you need and deal with this process. And if people want to go to it, obviously they can. And we're here if there's anything we need to know, okay, about how the system reacts to this.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I hope you have listened carefully to what she was narrating to us, how it all started, how the daughter used to tell her friends before that she was going to stab her brother to death, and the friends, I think they gotten scared of telling the mom and all that. And guys, this is beyond my understanding. Imagine your very own child killing another of your very own children. She wants the child back home, but no one knows what may happen after, cause I don't want to speak it like that, but the child is more of a threat to the society, cause if at all she did this to her very own brother, what would she do to other people in case they made her angry or anything in that category? What do you think about this? Should the law enforcement people let the child go back to the mom? Should the authorities set the girl free? Should the girl be kept under? I don't know what I could say. But in my opinion, the child, I think she needs to be rehabilitated. She needs a rehab. She needs to be talked to by personnel that are professionals in that, and I think the daughter needs help, and the mother too needs help at the moment, because I can't imagine what she's going through for such a tragedy happening in her very own home by her very own children. You understand? I hope I'm making sense, and let us know what you learned from this, and what are your suggestions? What advice would you give to the mom and anyone that is going through such situations? Don't forget to subscribe and turning on the bells so that you don't miss out on any stories that we upload. I love you. Bye bye.